So federal features of constitution here: judicial supremacy, distribution of powers between center and state, rigidity of the constitution, supremacy of the constitution, written constitution, right? So these are the points which are so important here, in the federal features of constitution, right? First is judicial supremacy. Second is distribution power of, power between central center and state, right? Third is rigidity of the constitution. Fourth is supremacy of the constitution, and last is written constitution, right? Okay, so here next point is, in a federal government, subjects of governance, are divided between federal and state governments, right? States enjoy most independence in their sphere. Okay, here Indian constitution has clearly, demarcated powers between the union and state governments, right? Here state governments have their rights on state subjects, mentioned in list 2, right, of 7th schedule. Okay, third point is the states can also legislate, over concrete subjects unless they are not in direct conflict, with central government's legislation. So these 3 points which is so important here, in that federal features of constitution, right? Okay, let's move to the next point, that, under article 368, no amendment in the status, right, of the power of centers of the power of center and states can be made, without participation of the states, right? So Indian constitution is not as easy to amend as the British constitution, but definitely it's not as tough as the US constitution, right? So here unitary features of constitution here, there are the several points, in unitary features of constitution here. First is all India services, that we call IAS, right? Okay, so in IAS, we read actually already, that, in IAS, IPS, in IAS there are the 312 articles, right? um, IAS, IPS, and IFS, right? But if you add 3 in it, right, then it will convert into 315. So that 315 is the constitutional, 315 is the UPSC, right? Okay, so here all India services in the unitary features of constitution, right? That's the first point. Second is strong center. Third is single constitution, right? Fourth is destructible states with a indestructible union, right? Fourth point is what? Single citizenship, flexible constitution, right? And fifth is integrated judiciary, right? Okay, seventh is appointment of governor, right? Okay, let's move to the next point, that in the federal countries, like USA and Australia, right? State have their own constitution, but India has single constitution. I'm talking about this, that in the federal countries, like USA and Australia, states have their own constitution, but India has a single constitution for both union and states. Both center and state functions under a single constitution, right? Next point is, when there is any conflict, between a law of a state and a center for any concrete matter, then center's provisions prevail. Center also enjoys residuary powers, right? Next point is what here? Next point is union enjoy legislative control, over 100 subjects, right? Stated under list 1 of the 7th schedule, as against 61 subjects, enlisted under list 2, right? State list here. Also the union enjoys, overriding powers over state on matters, unlisted in the concrete list. The residuary power here over subjects finding no mention, in either of the list also lies with the union here. Next point is India is an indestructible union of destructible states, right? So a governor of the states are appointed by president on the advice of council of minister, on the advice of council of ministers of central government. Hence governor acts like an agent of center in a state. So this increases the center's control on states, right? So Indian parliaments can alter the boundaries names of the states even without the consent of the states. Hence parliament enjoys powers to form a new state, merge the state, etc., to the extent it seems right. Okay, so your next point is it's a national symbol, right? It's a national symbol. It's a national symbol here. National symbol is here, um, on August 7, 1906, at Percy began, Square, Calcutta. The first national flag of India was hosted by Surendranath Banerjee, right? So Madam Bhikari Kama on 22nd August 1906, hosted the flag at Stuttgart, Germany, right? Next point is the national flag of India. Designated by sorry, it's not designated. It's designated, by Pingali Benkia in 1916. Was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on July 22, 1947. It is the horizontal tricolor of deep saffron kesari at the top, white in the middle, and dark green at the bottom, in equal proportion. Okay, in the center of the white band is a navy blue, wheel representing the chakra, a symbol of progress and of movement. The ratio of the length of the flag to its width is 3:2, right? As we know, the national symbol, I mean to say the national flag of the, you know ratio of the length of the flag of the width is 3:2. Okay, so next point is national emblem, right? Emblem. Okay, the national emblem is an adaptation from the Sarnath lion capital. It was adopted by the government of India on 26 January 1950. The words here Satyamev Jayate from Mundaka Upanishad, right, meaning truth alone triumphs, are inscribed below the abacus in Devanagari script. Okay, so in the original, in the original, there are there are four lions, standing back to back, mounted on an abacus, carried sculptures in high relief of an element. Okay, so here, a galloping horse, a bull and a lion separated by intervening wheels, over a bell-shaped lotus. Okay, national anthem here, Jangana Mana, composed originally in Bengali by, Rabindranath Tagore. Some people say that, Rabindranath Chattopadhyay Chatterjee, or okay. So here is Rabindranath Tagore here, that was, adopted in its Hindu version of the so it's Rabindranath Tagore, right? Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. कोई people say like Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay or Chatterjee, you know, the original writer of Bande Matram, right? But this is I'm just talking about here Janagana Mana, composed originally in Bengali, by obviously it's Rabindranath Tagore, was adopted in its Hindi version, by the Constituent Assembly as a national anthem of India, on 24th of January 1950. Okay, it was the first song, on 27th of December to 1911 at the Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress, right? So here national song here, the song Vande Mataram was composed by in composed in Sanskrit by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. As I said, the original composer, of Bande Mataram is Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Some people say that like Chatterjee, right? So from Anand Math, it was the first song in political context by Rabindranath Tagore at the 1896 session, of the Indian National Congress (INC). It was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 24th of January 1950. Okay, so national animal here, Panthera tigris, a stripped animal is the national animal, of India. So it has a thick yellow coat of fur and dark strips. Okay, so lion was the national animal of India till 1972. Later on, it was replaced by tiger. Okay, so national calendar here, the national calendar based on the Saka era, with Chaitra as its first month and a normal year of 365 days from 22 March 1957, along with the Greg, Gregorian calendar, right? One Chaitra falls on 22 March normally, and on a on 21 March in leap year, right? So the calendar was introduced by the Calendar Reforms Committee in 1957. Okay, so your national bird, that national bird here, peacock, that we call Paco Christus, Christatus. Okay, so which is symbol of grace, joy, beauty, and love is the national bird of India. It's peacock, right? So in India, the peacock is found is almost all parts and enjoy full protection under the Indian Wildlife Protection Act 1972. National flower here, lotus, botanically known as the Nelumbo, nucifera, right? Gurton, okay, is the national flower of India, right? It symbolizes divinity, fertility, wealth, knowledge, and enlightenment. National tree here, it's banyan tree. Okay, so it's ficus tree, is a national tree of India. National fruit is mango, as we know, is a national fruit of India, right? National river is what here, former PM sorry, it's not Narendra Modi. Its national river is former PM Manmohan Singh declared Ganga as the national river of India on February 20, 2009. Right. Okay. National river is Ganga. It's declared by PM Manmohan Singh. That Ganga is a national river. Okay. In 2009 February 20. Okay. So national aquatic animal here to save you know dolphins from extinction. The union government has declared them as the national aquatic animal on October 5, 2009. National currency, the Indian rupee sign, is an you know allegory of Indian ethos. The symbol is an amalgam of Devanagari RA and Roman capital R, with two parallel horizontal stripes running at the top, representing the national flag, and also the equal to sign. The Indian rupee sign was adopted by the government of India on 15th of July 2010. Right. So here important sources of the Indian Constitution here. The source of the country here, the Government of India Act 1935. The provisions borrowed here: office, governor, federalism, emergency, judiciary, public service commissions, administrative, details. Okay. Sorry. Uh, it's a public service commission, administrative. Uh, Details, details. Okay, fine. So here, the source here, USA Constituent. Provisions borrowed here: judiciary's independence, fundamental rights, judicial review here. Impeachment of president and removal of the judges of Supreme Court and High Court preamble. Right here, South African Constituent. I'm talking about this. Okay. Okay, so here South African Constitution here, the amendment of Constitution Rajya Sabha election, right? So Ireland Irish constitution here, method of election of president, directive principles of state policy, that we call DPSPS. Okay, it's it's DPSP. Okay, it's DPSP means what? Directive principle of state policy, nomination of Rajya Sabha members, right? Here British constitution, lawmaking, uh, procedure, single citizenship, parliamentary government, cabinet systems, by calmerism. Okay, rule of law. French constitution here, the French constitution uh, is republic ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity in the preamble. Okay, Canadian constitution here, that residuary power, to center federalisms with strong center appointment of governor, advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court, right? So here Soviet constitution here, fundamental duties, planning, social, economic, and political ideas of justice in preamble. Right. Next point is Australian Constitution. It's concrete list. Joint sitting, freedom of trade. You know, uh, it's a commerce and intercourse. Okay. Here. Okay. So Japanese Constitution here. Procedure establishment by law. It's a procedure established by law. Right. It's a Japanese constitution here. So these are the actual constitution of different countries, right? That's the important sources of Indian constitution, right? Okay, so here next is preamble. you know that we the people of India, having solemnly, okay, so resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens, right? Okay, so a justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, right? And to promote among them all, right? So yeah, fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves the Constitution. So the source of preamble here, country name is American Constitution, USSR, right? French Constitution. Source is preamble, ideal of justice, republic, and ideal of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Right. So here preamble is nature of a state, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. It's the nature of the state. Source of authority is here we, the people. Objectives of constitution here: justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, unity, and integrity. The state of adoption, it's not a state, it's state of adoption of the Indian constitution here, 26th of November 1949. Significant words of preamble here: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. These are the significant word of preamble, right? Let's move to the next point here, that significant word of preamble here: sovereign. First is sovereign. The significant word of preamble first is sovereign. So sovereignty refers to the independent authority of the state. It means that a state has the power to um, legislate on any subject which is not subject to the control of any other state or external power. Next point is socialist. The word socialist was added to the preamble by 42nd Constitutional Amendment 1976. Socialism you know, doesn't mean the resisting private sector. Instead it emphasizes that wealth should not be concentrated in few hands, and inequality of income should be abolished. Next point is secular. The term secular was inserted by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. It explained that a state does not recognize any religion as a state religion, and it treats all religions equally. I mean to say all religions equally and with equal respect, without interfering with their individuals' rights of religion, faith or worship. Democratic here, democracy is defined as all forms of government in the administration of which the adult population has some direct and indirect share, right? So our democracy is a representative democracy, which means people have no direct control, such as referendum and initiative, right? So people exercise their power through elected representatives in parliament at center, and state legislatures at the state level, right? So a democratic public stands for welfare for all the peoples of India, which embodies the concept of welfare state, laid down in directive principle of state policy that we call DPSP, right? So a republic here, republic means a form of government in which head of the state is an elected person, and not a hereditary, you know monarch like a king and the queen as in Great Britain, right? So president is the head of the Republic of India, who is indirectly elected by the people for a fixed period of 5 years. He can also be removed from office by impeachment, Article 61. Next point is liberty. Preamble mentions here liberty of thought, expression, beliefs, faith and worship here. These freedoms have been provided in our constitution under fundamental rights, Article 19. Obviously it's a fundamental right. What's the fundamental right here? From 12 article to 35, between of it there is a fundamental right, but there is a liberty, freedom of speech in article 19, right? So preamble mentions here liberty of thought, expression, beliefs, faith and worship. These freedoms have been provided in our constitution under fundamental rights, article 19, 25 to 28, and are enforceable by court of law through Article 32 to Article 26. Obviously, Article 32 is the writ of Supreme Court, and Article 226 is the writ of High Court, right? So justice is here social. First is the social. There's a three mentioned here, of justice: the social, economic, and political. First is social here, equal treatment of all the citizens, without any discrimination based on, socio historic, parameters such as caste, color, race, religion, or sex. Okay, here economic here, elimination of economic inequalities, status, facilities and opportunities, and redistribution of wealth and property, right? Here next is political. Every person in the test every person in the territory of India, irrespective of his you know um, proprietary or educational qualification, should be allowed to participate in the political systems under a universal adult suffrage, providing one man one vote system. One man and one vote system in article 326. That's the political here, that every person, there's a political point here, that every person in the territory of India, irrespective of his priority or educational qualification, should be allowed participate in the political system under uh, universal adult suffrage, providing one man one vote system in article 326, right? Okay, so here economic elimination or economic inequalities status here, facilities and opportunities, and redistribution of wealth and property here in article 300 article 38 2 and article 39 b, and here article 39 c. Okay, so here social here equal treatment of all citizens without any discrimination based on socio-historic parameter such as caste, color, race, religion, or sex. Okay, so these things come under the Article 15 to Article 15, 16, and Article 19D. Okay, so your next point is distribution. Okay, okay, fine. Here the distributing justice, came under the social and economic, right? Pointed. Okay, so here equality, equality of opportunity and status, is given in preamble, which is ensured by Article 14 to Article 18. Right, equality, right to equality, right, right to equality came under the 14 to 18. Okay, Article 325 to Article 326. This means that every person shall have equal rights of opportunity for any job, work, and nobody can be discriminated or treated as lower than anyone else only on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex, etc. So equality of status and opportunity for all is the you know basis of ultimately you know establishing and ag- uh, egalitarian society. Okay, so next point is fraternity. It refers to the spirit of brotherhood, a feeling that all peoples are children of same soil, okay, the same motherland. Fraternity ensures the unity and integrity of India. Okay, here next point is Supreme Court judgments related to the preamble. First is Berubari Union Case 1960. Preamble is not a part of the Indian Constitution. Keshav Nanda Bharti Case 1973 is preamble is not a part of Indian Constitution. LIC of Indian Case 1995 is preamble is an uh, integral part of the Indian Constitution, right? So here Supreme Court judgments related to preamble here, these three, which is so important here. Beruvari Union Case 1960 is a preamble is not a part of the Indian Constitution, right? Here Kesav Nanda Bharti Case 1973 is a preamble is a part of the Indian Constitution. LIC of India Case 1995 is a preamble in an integral part of the Indian Constitution. Right. Okay. Let's focus on the next point. Focus on the next point here. Union and its territories. Union and its territories. Okay. So here part one, of the Indian Constitution here include Article 1 to Article 4. Right, related to the union and its territory. Article of the Constitution says India, that is Bharat, right, shall be union of states. This tells us the nature of the Indian political system. The expression union of state establishes here that India, point number A is what India is not the result of any of an agreement between states, right? First point is what here of the expression union of state establishes here that first point is India is not the result of an agreement between a state, right? Here, second point is what state has no right, to um, secede, okay, from the Indian Union, right? Thus, India preferred the term union instead of federation. Right. So your next point is what? The term Union of India includes all states, but territory of India include entire territory, that is states and any other territory that may be acquired by India in future. Next point is the territory of India is a wider expression and includes all territory, over which sovereignty of India extends. Okay, so Indian territory here under Article 1, all states here, Article 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Union territories here and territories to the acquired by India in future. So Article 1 here, name and territories of the Union. Article 2 is establishment of admission of new states. Article 3 is formation of new states and uh, alternation of areas, boundaries, or name of existing state. Article 4 is what? Is laws made under Article 2 and 3 provide for the amendment of the first and fourth schedules and supplemental, incidental, and consequential matters. Okay, so focus to the next point here. Let's focus to the next point here. Chronology of states formation. Okay, it's a chronology of states formation here. 1960 is Maharashtra and Gujarat. Right. Okay. Okay. 1961 is Dadar and Nagar Haveli. 1962 is Daman and Diu and Puducherry, that we call UT. 1963 is Nagaland. 1966 is Punjab and Haryana. 1971 is Himachal Pradesh. 1972 is Manipal, Meghalaya and Tripura. 1975 is Sikkim, obviously. That's a chronology of a state formation, right? That's the formation of the state. In that, as we know that the Maharashtra is actually made the state. Um, from Gujarat in 1960, right? And here Dadar and Nagar Haveli here 1961, Daman and Diu and here Puducherry is 1962, Nagaland here 1963, Punjab and Haryana here 1966, right? 1971 Himachal Pradesh, 1972 is Manipur, Meghalaya, and Tripura. 1975 is Sikkim. You know, yeah. 2019 is Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh UT. 2014 is Telangana. Obviously, as you know, that Telangana is actually, you know, made their own state. In June 2, 2nd of June 2014, Telangana. 2000 here, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, and Jharkhand. You know, they are the three state made. In 2000. First is uh, Chhattisgarh, 1st of November, 1st of November 2000. Uttarakhand is 9th of November 2000, and then Jharkhand, 15th of November 2000. Okay, so Jharkhand especially actually made his own state. You know, actually is departed from Bihar, right? From the Bihar presidency in 2000, in 2015 November 2000, right? Accordingly, 1987 Goa, Mizoram, and Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. Here, formation of new state, union territories and alteration of names. Assam became a British uh, pro- protectorate, protectorate in 1826. It was separated from the Bengal in 1874 and was reformed as Assam in 1912. It got full statehood on 26 January 1950. Andhra Pradesh was formed in 1953, by taking out some territories from the state Madras. Madras and Gujarat were two states, created by, obviously here, Bombay Reorganization Act in 1960. So thus, creating Marathi and Gujarat speaking state respectively. So Bihar was formed, by British on 22nd of March 1912, carving out of Bengal, and got statehood on 26th of January 1950. Odisha was made a separate province on 1st of April 1936 and gained statehood in 1950. Madras Presidency was reorganized as a state in 1950 and renamed Tamil Nadu in 1969. Right. Okay. Here, former state of Travancore, right? Cochin and Malabar were merged to form the state of Kerala in 1956. So Mysore state was formed on 1st of November 1956 by bringing together Kannada speaking regions, right? So 1963 here Nagaland was created as a state out of Assam, separating Naga Hills area and Tensang areas by State of Nagaland Act 1962. So here Punjab, Reorganizations Act 1966, created State of Haryana and Chandigarh as Union Territory out of Punjab, right? Himachal Pradesh was, created with the merger of 30 princely states in 1960, was declared union territories in 1956 and gained statehood on 26 January 1971. Right. So here the two union territories of Manipal and Tripura were made state, which were earlier union territories. The sub-state of Meghalaya gained statehood. In 1987, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh became 23rd and 24th Indian state. Sikkim became a full-fledged state, by the 36th Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976. Initially, Sikkim was, protectorate of India, and in 1974, by 35th Constitutional Amendment Act 1975, Sikkim became an associate state, right? So the Union Territory of Mizoram gained statehood by State of Mizoram Act 1986. Here, the Union Territories of Mizoram gained statehood by State of Mizoram Act 1986, right? So the Union Territories of Arunachal Pradesh was given a statehood in 1986 by Arunachal Pradesh Act, 1986. Here, Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated, into union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh on 31st of October 2019. Union territories and Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, right, were merged on 26th of January 2020 with capital at Daman, right. Here, power of parliament, right, the power of the parliament here. Article 2 and Article 3. Here, admission in Article 2, there are the two forms of Article 2 here: admission of new states in union and formation of new states. Here, Article 3 is here, alteration of boundaries, and second is changing the name of the states, and the third is increasing the demonizing the area of state and re-judgment of territories, right. Okay. Parliament has the power, to form such states or alter the name or boundaries of states even without the consent of a state, that is by simple majority. Parliament can do such change or make new state. You know what? Your parliament has a power to form such states or alter the name or boundaries of states even without the consent of states, right? That is by simple majority. Parliament can do such changes or make new states. So India is an indestructible union of destructible state. India is indestructible union of destructive states. Reorganization of states can be based on linguistic, geographic, administrative, or ethnic factors. Right. Okay, so these are the here, reorganized state here. You can see the map here. Obviously, you will get a lot of knowledge from this map, right? This is the reorganization of state, right? Okay, so here, zonal councils here. It's a northern zonal councils. Delhi is Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan, National Capital Territory of Delhi, and Union Territory of Chandigarh. Second is central zonal council is Prayagraj, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. Eastern zonal, council is Kolkata. Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Sikkim is West Bengal and Kolkata. It's a Western zonal council in Mumbai, that Goa, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Dadar and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, right? Okay, so here Southern zonal council Chennai, Andhra Pradesh here, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Union Territories of Puducherry. Okay, so it's in the fifth, right? It's a Southern zonal council, right? So here, northeastern zonal council here, Shillong, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipal, Tripura, Mizoram, Meghalaya, and Nagaland, right? Union territory present here, here I'm just talking about this, that Union territory and Andaman and Nicobar here, capital is Port Blair, district is 3, and area kilometer is what, 8,249 kilometer square, right? Okay, Chandigarh here, capital is Chandigarh, right? Andaman and Nicobar here, Port Blair is the capital, right? And the district is 3, and area is what, 8,249 kilometer square. But if I'm talking about Chandigarh, Chandigarh is a capital is Chandigarh, right? But the district is one, and area is what 114 kilometers square only, right? So Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, the capital is what Daman, and the district is 3, but the area is 603, right? Delhi, if I'm talking about Delhi, this is the union territories, right? As we know, the uh, eight union territories here. The last is Ladakh. You know, Ladakh is the last union territories. As we know, the seventh union territories was, but here, you know, that Andaman and Nicobar was totally left from the 29th state. So now it's 28th state. So here, that's why it's totally converted into the union territories right now in present, right? So there are 8 union territories right now, right? So here Delhi here is the union territories. Capital is what? Is New Delhi, and district is 11. Districts is 11, and kilometer square is what? 1483. Lakshadweep here, Karavati is the capital, right? And district is 1. Area kilometer square is what? Is 32. Puducherry is the capital, right? But here the district is 4, and area is what? Area is 492 kilometer square. Jammu and Kashmir here, Srinagar capital, right? Is district is 22, but the area kilometer square is what? 55,538. Ladakh is Leh is the capital here. District is what? District is 2, but here 1,74,852 kilometer square is the area, right? So if I'm talking about here, you know, the Article 239A, right, and 239AA, special provisions related to UTS, right? Okay. So here, in 1962, Article 329A amendment amended by 37th Amendment Act 1974 was introduced in the Constitution to empower Parliament to create a legislature or Council of Ministers for some of the union territories under which Article 239A for Puducherry and Article 239AA by its 69th Amendment Act 1992 provided special provisions for the Union Territories of Delhi renaming in as National Capital Territory of Delhi. It also provided for the legislative assembly to make laws, enu- enumerated in the state list, or the concrete list in limited jurisdiction, with an overriding parliamentary jurisdiction. Hence, Puducherry 1963 and NCT of Delhi, 1991, along with the recently carved Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir 2019, are the only 3 union territories and state legislature, assemblies, and obviously seat allotted in the Council of States under Schedule 4 of the Constitution. Delhi state government has been demanding, complete statehood on owing to the administrative here ambiguity and complexity of the three-tier administrative structure. Right. So let's focus to the next point here. That the state of India, Rajasthan, is Jaipur. Okay, fine. I'm just showing you. You can read here that the state of India here, still 28, yet here Rajasthan, Jaipur, capital Rajasthan, here Jaipur is the capital, 36 is the district, area is what? 3 lakh 42,239, right? So that's totally, you can see, you can read here, right? Okay, Japan, Jaipur, Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal, Maharashtra is Mumbai, Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, Gujarat, Gandhinagar, Karnataka, Bengaluru, Andhra Pradesh, here, Hyderabad, Odisha, Bhubaneswar, Chhattisgarh is Raipur, Tamil Nadu is Chennai, Bihar, Patna, West Bengal, Kolkata, Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar, Jharkhand, Ranchi, is Assam, Dispur, right? Himachal Pradesh, Simla or Dharamshala, right? Okay, so here Uttarakhand, Dehradun, Punjab, Chandigarh, Haryana, Chandigarh, Kerala, here Tiruvananthapuram, right? Here Meghalaya, Shillong, Manipur, Imphal, Mizoram, Aizawl, okay, Nagaland, Kohima, Tripura, Agartala, सिक्किम गैंगटॉक गोवा पनाजी पणजी इसको बोलते हैं, ओके फाइन. इस तेलंगाना हैदराबाद, ओके. So here citizenship. So this is citizenship here. Residents. There are the 5 point in it. First is alliance. An alliance is a person from a foreign country who is not citizen of the host country. Alien required visas or work permits. Non-resident alliance, residence alliance require documentation. Refugees here. Refugees are peoples who have been forced to leave their country in order to escape war, persecution, or a natural disaster. Refugees move out of fear or necessity to flee persecution, natural disaster, war, violence, or human rights violation. Immigrant here. An immigrant is someone from a foreign country who relocates to live in another country subjected to the laws of adopted host countries. Immigrants are usually driven by economic factors. Next is asylum seekers, right? An asylum seeker is someone who is seeking international protection but whose claim for refugee status has not yet been determined. Last point is what? Citizens. A person who is entitled, right, to all the civil and political rights and privilege right and privilege granted by a state to the people comprising its constituent, and obligated to obey its laws and fulfill his duty, right? So here, part 2 of the Indian Constitution, article 5 to article 11, deal with the citizenship of India during the commencement of constitution, right? Part 2 here, article 5 to 11 here, relating to citizenship, came into force on November 26, 1949 itself. The constitution describes who would be considered the citizenship of India, from the commencement date of constitution, that is 26th of January 1956, 1950. I'm to say 26th of January 1950, right? Okay, so here, constitutional provisions related to citizenship. I will cover it tomorrow. Okay, so that's the last one. Okay, I hope things will gonna be totally clear for you guys. You can pause and then after onward you can read it, right? If you have any kind of problem to understand, then you can read it, right, as long as you want. So after onward I will discuss tomorrow. So yeah.